Well, hey, you guys. Okay, we all know that I am a natural spender. Yep, I love to spend and I love to shop. And one of my favorite things about shopping is the fact that you can return things. Okay, hear me out because we don't talk about this enough. One of the most underrated things about the retail industry is the fact that returns and exchanges exist. Now, obviously, we should always be intentional about our spending and, plan out our expenses. But on those days where maybe we slip up a little bit or have a little impulse purchase, we can always change our minds or make a return, right? Wrong. Oh, y'all, you ready for this? So apparently, our favorite stores are now cracking down on returns. Some companies are just changing the details of their policy, like limiting the amount of time that you can bring things back or marking certain items as final sale. And some are actually charging people fees or even keeping a certain percentage of their original payment for restocking costs. Ugh, hurts my heart. But here we are. So today, I'm going to give you a friendly heads up and be sure to let me know in the comments if I've missed any of these sneaky return policy changes. Let us know below so we can all figure this out together. All right, first, let's talk about why stores allow people to bring back merchandise in the first place. So if you've been around here for more than 5 minutes, you've probably heard me talk about the power of marketing. From BOGO deals to reward programs, if it ever starts to feel like retailers are doing you a favor out of just the goodness of their hearts, you're probably falling for a marketing tactic. And at the end of the day, stores are businesses, so there is strategy behind everything that they do. And this is also the case when it comes to return policies that seem too good to be true. So to prove it to you, I have a story about one of my coworkers who's a big fan of anthropology. She's so bougie, we know. Now listen, for years, Anthro's return policy was one of the best in the game. You could literally bring back clothes without a tag that had clearly been worn and that aren't even in their system anymore, and they would still give you your money back as long as you had proof of purchase. And one time, my coworker was turning a sweater that she had bought almost 2 years prior, and she point blank asked the cashier, "Why do you let people do this? This is insane." And the lady told her that they did research and found that people spend more money if they know they can return things far in the future. So instead of making the difficult cut in the fitting room, thinking, "Oh my gosh," they want you to feel like you have the freedom to buy what you want, and then you can reverse that decision later. She also said that when people return an item, they almost always turn back around and spend that original amount plus some there in the store. So for example, let's say that you returned a $98 sweater. Well, the person is more likely to put $98 they just got back from that store into the store again. It's like girl math. It's like, oh, here's a sweater. Oh my gosh, I just made $98. It's like free money. I mean, unbelievable. I'll just go to Anthro and just keep shopping. So companies will do anything just to get you into their store because they know that they're going to come out ahead. But even Anthro has changed their return policy recently. Unbelievable. So this brings me to 6 return restrictions that you need to know about. Number 1, shipping costs not refunded. So online shopping has been really popular the last couple of years. This is probably my favorite. I love just to browse online. Then you just buy something. It's great. I did this the other day with some Walmart dresses I saw. But there's a trend that stores, again, are feeling the cost of having to ship things to people and the delivery costs and everything, and they're not getting to keep the profits when you make all those returns. But if you're paying for shipping, make sure you are aware that you may not get back the cost of that shipping there if it doesn't work out, right? So you're spending that extra $7, $8, and if you go and just take everything back, well, you've lost that money. Number 2, the restocking fee. So alongside with shipping costs, stores are now experiencing an increase of labor costs for all the workers they now need to handle all these returns from online sales. And it's a lot more work to process returns of large quantities. So they're having to, again, pay people to be in the store to do that. And so that money is going to be back on the customer for them to pay as well. Number 3, return fees. So 81% of retailers have implemented a pay to return policy in 2023. Y'all, that's a huge percentage. And again, if you're like me and online shopping is your go-to, always make sure you look at the store's policy when it comes to returning when you press order. So before you order it, again, make sure to read through that return policy. Number 4, shortened return windows. I've experienced these because along with all the fees and stuff, some of those stores are now adjusting the window you're able to bring money back. So if you've ever shopped at a local boutique, you probably noticed, they give you 10 to 14 days to bring it back. And now bigger stores are implementing that too. And this is because for these smaller stores, these boutiques, they're small businesses, right? So they can't afford to absorb all the costs of all the return items for the next 2 years. And also they keep a very limited inventory. So if you bring something back, maybe a month later, they may not even have it in stock anymore. But now know that this policy is filtering to larger stores like we talked about. So expect it. All right, number 5, store credit only. So if you think about that same small town boutique that we just talked about, well, chances are they also have a store credit policy. So again, more and more companies are using this option to ensure that even if you change your mind on something, the money you originally paid them still gets to stay with them. So it's not a total loss for them. All right, number 6, discounted items are final sale. So always make sure if you're shopping the sales section that you look, because some stores will have it like on the tag, for instance, but they don't verbally have to say out loud that it is a final sale. So make sure, again, you look at everything when you're buying, especially in person, to see, okay, is this a final sale or not? Because if it is, no returning for you. All right, the bottom line is this. Inflation isn't the only thing affecting our shopping lately. Yeah, just like you, I have to be intentional when it comes to our money. And again, companies, they're having to do the same thing. And so to make sure that you're always prepared for the true cost of your shopping and spending, I highly recommend having a plan. And the best way to have a plan with your money every month is a budget. If you have not downloaded EveryDollar, make sure to do this. Go to everydollar.com/Rachel and create your budget completely for free. And you guys, a budget gives you such peace of mind. It honestly makes all the shopping that we're talking about even more enjoyable because you know how much you have to spend. So do a budget if you haven't yet. And if you haven't checked out my video on 5 sneaky ways stores make you spend more, make sure to do that next. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.